Our next guest is one of the top genre directors working today. His name is Nimrod Antal. He's directed movies like Armored, like Vacancy, like Predators. I got to know Nimrod because we're developing a movie that I hope gets made because the script is awesome. It's effectively Wall-E meets Taken, set in the world of Looper. Now, the one thing I can say about Nimrod, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is that Nimrod is a very serious individual who prides himself on originality. But today, he's going to pitch you a comic book adaptation. I would tell you what it is, but I just can't.
Hi, my name is Nimrod Antal, and I'm here to pitch my theatrical version of the Dark Horse comic, Boris the Bear. When I was collecting comics and ditching school to go see the Back to the Future trilogy, there was about 2,000 kids in our school, and there was 4 of us that would, claim geekdom, which seems to have become like the modern, I don't even know what it is now. It's just everybody seems to claim that they were there. Boris for me was kind of my in to that world. I think I was about like 12. Dark Horse had just started at that point. Their second publication was a book called Boris the Bear. It encompasses quite a few characters that seem to be very popular at the moment, and I think that taking advantage of that could be interesting. I think that at the moment it seems that the studios seem to be very reluctant to touch anything that resembles originality. So I've come to you today in order to pitch something that I think is appropriate for the market at the moment, and that is comic book heroes and comic book characters seem to be the ones that are grabbing people's fascination. I am so utterly sick of comic book movies that I've decided to make the ultimate comic book movie and bring you Boris the Bear. And if you're not familiar with Boris the Bear, he's a teddy bear, and I know that we have Ted, wonderful film Ted. Take advantage of the wave of Ted at the moment as well, and continue down the path of teddy bears. The only interesting thing about Boris is that he's actually a robot. You have an opportunity to interject a Terminator-esque kind of tone to the film, while still keeping the cuddly cuteness of the teddy bear. Boris is on a mission to basically kill every single comic book character known to man, and I think at the moment, given this complete saturation in the market, aversion and reluctance to do anything that resembles originality, I think that this is the answer. It's the final go. It's the final big kind of swing at the ball. And of course, I understand that production is a concern, and you want to keep costs down. So we could have, I think, practically trying to capture as much as we can on the floor would behoove us, and it's something that I tend to prefer to do anyway when I'm shooting, trying to capture as much as I can on the floor. Boris can kill whoever you want Boris to kill. He can kill Marvel characters, DC characters, Transformers, Ninja Turtles, He-Man, Thundercats. We could even get into My Little Ponies. He can really kill whoever you want him to kill. If we want to secure the PG-13 rating, just so that we could really just, twist all the juice out of the lemon and get as many people in to the theaters as we can, I'm sure there's a way to elegantly depict the violence. I mean, Hunger Games, children killing children, seem to fly okay. So I think if we throw enough money at the MPAA, we may even get a PG or a PG-13 rating. Kickstarting something when you're sitting on millions of dollars seems kind of just dickish to me, even though I don't enjoy the financial stability that some people assume. The perception, I'm fearful that if we take the path of trying to kickstart something, that we may have a negative reaction from people. I know that I certainly feel that way when I see a multimillionaire begging people for nickels and dimes. Put him in a confined space, and we try to manipulate the viewer to believing that we really shot it in a room, but we made it appear to be much bigger. I think that is also a very, very good approach. So if you want it to be Die Hard, certainly we could throw in, guys with German accents or whatever you need. High concept, low budget. I think that there's some guys out there doing that right now, so that's definitely an approach we could take. Boris could be in a haunted house. He can be, he could kill Casper. He could kill whoever we like him to. It's just really a question of getting all the right pieces, just into place. And once those are set, we could even do the following. I mean, I could shoot it a few different ways on the floor, and we make the decision in the editing room. trying to figure out what it looks like when Boris kills a character, because if we base it in a gritty kind of realistic tone, much like Nolan did with the Batman films, I'm concerned about our rating. So I think that if we establish that this is science fiction, because sometimes the rating board, has a little difficulty deciding whether something is too gritty or not. So I think if we make it a little bit more cartoonish, if we approach it in a manner that accepts and accentuates the cartoonness of it all. If you guys want to forego that and just say, fuck it, let's all do it in post, I'm open to go down that path too. Again, I just want to continue working. We should just follow whatever you feel is best to follow at this point. Who are one of the 7 white gods at the moment who can get this film financed? Any of those dudes are going to be fine for us. I don't want to name any names because I know this changes every week, and the guy that was getting the film made last week isn't the guy getting the film made next week, but I'm really open to whoever you like. Well, the tone and the look of the movie, I think, should be very different than the trailer. I think we should sucker them in with as many, flashy images that we can and completely mislead them tonally as to what they should expect. But once they're in the theater, once they're in the seats, basically we could just shit on it and really not really just put our effort into it. It's really irrelevant because the second you have all the people on the poster, as we know, people are going to come. Deviating from the source material sometimes works, and in this case I think that we should avoid that. I'd actually try to do, with Game of Thrones, for instance, the Martin books compared to the latter seasons, I saw a growing discrepancy, and they seem to do it very well. I'd prefer to stay completely faithful to the source material and actually just shoot shot for shot the panels as drawn. It's not because I'm lazy or anything. I feel that they captured something in those original black and white drawings that just felt, I don't know, that elegance is something. Black and white is also something that we can discuss, by the way. I know that doesn't seem to be a trend either, but maybe with this we can start a whole new wave for a whole gang of other folks to ride upon. I'm very loyal to the people that I generally work with, so anybody who I've worked with in the past, if they're still willing to work with me, that would be great. But I'm open to anybody. I do like that Darius Kanji silver retention look. I know it went out of style about 20 years ago, but it still feels very, very crisp and crunchy. After my first film, which was it was an auteuristic endeavor. It was something that we made for the right reasons and we shot for the right reasons, and I think the quality of that film was certainly reflected through the intent and the intentions, and they were pure, they were noble. Creatively, sometimes the films that I've had to do weren't necessarily the first choices that I would have personally made creatively. Right now, continuing down this path of completely bending over and let you guys do whatever you really want to do with me, I think that's going to guarantee a Nimrod Antal film. It's basically just me putting my hands up and allowing you guys to tell me who to cast and make script changes that I completely feel are unnecessary and actually do damage to the story. Once marketing gets involved, completely shutting me out of the process and making sure that the poster has just all the lead actors smiling towards camera. I've noticed that the cool kids, a club that I've never been a member of, they want to do things a little bit edgy. And I know it kind of went out of style about 20 years ago, but I think Pixel Vision is making its way back. It's weird enough to bring in the art house folks. I don't think the mainstream audience would be able to tell the difference anyway. But if you want me to shoot it on a potato, I could do it on a potato. Anything you really need me to, whatever you want me to do. I just want to ensure that I can keep working and supporting my family through my craft, if not my art. I don't know, there's only about 7, right? So let's just pick one of them. Revenge? We can make it a revenge story. That seems to be popular. If you don't like revenge, we can make it a love story. Cast one of the 7 white gods and one of the trendy actresses, and we can make it a love story if you like. Really, it's whatever you want it to be, and that's the beauty about Boris. A director's vision is very important, and I feel that my vision at the end of the day is really whatever you want my vision to be. I could adjust my vision to your vision. I've learned the past few years is an important way to keep working in this industry, so certainly whatever you want to do, my vision will fall in line with the greater vision.
What if Tarantino made a Batman movie? They don't just exist in some writer's head. They're a little too out there. If you'd like me to keep making more, please share this with all your friends. I hope you enjoy them.